Let us start our science class. Okay. In last class we have started a new chapter, that is life process. What we have studied in this in that chapter, just will recall what we have studied in previous classes. Yeah. We have studied the definition of life process and what are the different examples for these life process. Why we are calling the organisms are living? Because it is doing or processing the life activity. Because of that we can call that organism is a living organisms. Yes, what are the different life activity we have discussed in previous classes? Yeah, out of that we have said that only 4 things we are going to study in this one. In this chapter in your 10th class, that is nutrition, respiration, excretion and transportation. Yeah, already we have started a nutrition. Tell me student, what is nutrition? Yes, the organism which is getting food, that is itself, that is utilizing that food, obtaining and utilizing of food, that is called as nutrition. Yeah, in that we come to know that plants are having different types of nutrition while we are comparing to the animals. What about the plants? Which type of nutrition it is? Is that they are autotrophic nutritions. Why we are calling plants as autotrophic type of nutrition? Because plants are able to prepare their own food. That process is called as photosynthesis. We have studied what is photosynthesis. What is photosynthesis? Photo plus combine. So photosynthesis means light is going to combine different materials. We have studied that in our previous class. And different steps what is there in the photosynthesis process and where it is occurring, in which part of the plant it is occurring or else it is processing that photosynthesis, that is in the kitchen of the plant cell, that is nothing but chloroplast. So chloroplasts are having the pigment called chlorophyll. So we have completed about the autotrophic types of nutrition. That organism is called as what? Yeah, that is phototrophs or phototrophic organisms. So what about the heterotrophic nutrition? That is another type of nutrition. What is that? Heterotrophic. We have studied hetero means what? Yeah, it is depends on others. What we are doing, we are animals, we are doing or else we are depending other animals or else plants for our nutrition. Yeah, so we are the example for what? Heterotrophic nutrition or else we are the heterotrophic organisms. So we have studied the definition in last class. Today we are going to study more about the heterotrophic nutrition. Write down the heading student. In nutrition, first types we have completed in last class. That is the second one, that is heterotrophic nutrition. Write down heterotrophic nutrition. Yes, already we come to know the definition what is heterotrophic nutrition. Yes, now we'll study in detail what are the heterotrophic and different organisms we are going to study in today's class. Okay, how they are going to, what are the mode of nutrition in other types of organisms. Yes, already we know that some organisms, we'll take a simple example as we are the human beings. What we are doing? We are taking food. We are injecting food. We are taking the food as it is. Next, what we are doing? We are going to digest inside the body. The digestion takes place inside the body of human beings or as in animals. See, that is one type of heterotrophic nutrition. In some organisms, what they are doing, if you are going to take any fungus, if it is a bread mold or else any penicillium, anything, aspergillus or anything, what it is doing? It is a type of saprophytic nutrition. What it is doing? It is going to break down that food. It is not inside the body. outside the body, if it is a bread, that bread is going to break down into smaller pieces because of the action of that fungi. Okay, that is not inside the body. Actually, that process is going to occur outside the body, not like us. Come to know? So, such organisms are called as saprophytic, but it is a heterotropic nutrition. Yes, no? That because fungus are not going to prepare its own food. So, they are the example for heterotypes, but what it is doing? Some organisms break down the food materials outside the body and then it is going to absorb that one. Okay, such types of organisms are called as what? Saprophytes. We are studied already in our 8th standard. Yes. Next, can you give any other example for the lower organism? What about the paramecium? What about the euglena? Whether it is a heterotrophs? Yes, paramecium, it has a small spots in their body. That is it is having the definite shape. Specific spots are there in its body because of the movement of cilia. We have studied the structure, how it is. The paramecium, it is having the cilia in it. So that cilia, because of the movement of cilia, it is very helpful for the movement of cilia because they are getting the food. It is having the specific spot in that. If you are going to see the amoeba, how it is taking food? It does not have mouth like us. It is a unicellular organism. Now these amoeba, how it is going to take the food? What is the shape of amoeba? Any shape. If I am going to draw a simple like this structure, it is amoeba, or else round, it is amoeba. Because amoeba having indefinite, there is no definite shape for amoeba like paramecium. Paramecium has definite shape, but the amoebas are having no definite shape. Indefinite it is. Come to know? So what happened? How these amoebas are going to take the food? Yeah, already we studied in our lower class, amoebas are having a special structure, finger-like projection, that is called as pseudopodia. Yes, that is helpful for the locomotion of this, that is a locomotory organ. Upon that, it is helping for the nutrition purpose also. That is about the amoeba. So just we'll see how these amoeba is going to take food. Just imagine, student, where the amoebas are living. Where the amoeba? In fresh water. In any well water, pond water, river water, we can see the amoeba. In our 8th standard, already we have observed this in our 8th standard under the microscopes. Amoebas are. So, just imagine this is the food materials. So, what it is doing? Amoeba is going to elongate its pseudopodia. These are the pseudopodias. It is going to elongate it one and it is going to change its shape. Because it want this food, because it don't have mouth like us. So, but it have to eat this food, but it is not eating purpose, just it is going to, not it is injecting, just it is going to diffusing that one. So, what it is doing? Just it is going to change the shape. How? See, same amoeba, I am going to draw once again. See, food is here now. So, it is going to change its shape. This is a food and this is a amoeba. Here also this is a food material. Yeah, what it is going to eat. In next step, what it is doing? See, same thing, amoeba is going to merge up this one. Once again, it is doing like this, and it is more. It is goes on changing its shape. Finally, amoeba just injecting or else just diffusing that food to the inside body. See, not this one, like this it is. Come to know how simply, how simplification. See, it is a very simple organism, unicellular organism, still it is having the nutrition. How it is going to take like this. Okay, it is having the pseudopodia like this. So it is initially like this, opening the pseudopodia like this. Next, unknowingly just it is going to inject that food, or else that is diffusion of that food. Come to know, this is about the amoeba. In paramecium, we come to know that it is having the specific spot. Yes, next we will see in human, nutrition in human. How it will be, do you know? Yeah, we have well defined digestive tract in our body. Well defined, it is particular, and it is what it is having the correct system. We have the correct system. Not only we, the animals, higher organisms, higher animals are having the digestive system in our body. Okay, this is a main part of nutrition in our body. Just we'll see how it is. If you are going to study the nutrition in human, we have to know the structure of our digestive system. We have to draw our digestive system, then only we can study how it is. Okay, so here there is a diagram. Next we'll see what happens in human body and what is a digestive system of human beings. Look at here, student, that is a human digestive system. So you have to draw a neat label diagram and you have to study how to draw that one. Very, very important for your examination. They will ask with the diagram, they will ask to explain that one. Okay, so we'll see what are the different paths in our digestive system. Yes, first we know that actually what we are doing, mouth. We are taking food through mouth. So what it is, mouth is a actually that is a oral cavity. We are taking food, that is an ingestion of food. Now what happened in mouth, we are going to chew that one by the help of tongue and our teeth. What it is doing, it is going to grind that one. Entire food is going to grind there. But what happens in our mouth, we have the salivary glands in our mouth. Do you know what is salivary gland and what is the importance of that salivary gland? Is, have you seen the salivary gland in your mouth? If you didn't, just open your mouth in front of mirror. Just open your mouth in front of mirror and just speak, try to speak. That time you can see the spraying of the saliva. We can see just under the tongue, just after the tongue we can see two salivary glands, that is the salivary glands. Yes, the salivary gland is going to secrete the saliva. Okay, that is a saliva, so we can speak nicely. Always our mouth is wet because we have the salivary gland. That salivary gland is going to produce saliva. Come to know that saliva is having a type of enzyme called salivary amylase. Come to know salivary amylase. Later I will show you what it is doing. Okay, salivary amylase. Do you know what is this enzymes? See, enzymes are nothing but the catalyst. Already we have studied what about the catalyst, what it is going to do. It is what in chemistry we studied, the catalysts are going to increase the speed and rate of the chemical reaction. Same as that, here these are the biological catalysts. That is also increasing the rate of the reaction. Okay, that is a biological catalyst, that is a salivary amylase is an enzyme. Come to know next what happened in our mouth. If any things, if you are any chips, if you are going to eat, how hard it is, still what it is happening in mouth, it is going to become very soft because of the presence of saliva. Come to know. So if you are just one activity will do, student, just try it in your home. You take a beaten rice and just put it into our mouth. After 2 minutes, that is going to wet. Your mouth is going to wet because that is a salivary gland is going to synthesize that or secrete that saliva. Yes, because of that, if you are going to see any sweet or any, if it is any sweet items, it is our mouth is start to watering because our salivary gland is going to work over there. Or else if you are going to speak more and more means sometime that is the spraying of saliva, that is because your mouth is going to wet Okay, it is going to maintain the moisture in our body, in our mouth. Okay, that is about the saliva. Next, what happened, that food materials what we are eating, that is converted into bolus. Write down the spelling, bolus, B-O-L-U-S, that is a bolus, B-O-L-U-S. This is nothing but it is a very soft balls. Okay, what we are eating, because if it may be hard or anything, but what happened, because of the saliva it is going to soften that one, it is making a bolus. It is like somewhat round shaped. So what happened, that bolus is going to, bolus means food mixed with saliva. Now that is coming down like this through esophagus. This is a pipe here, this is a pipe. See here what happened, a mouth connected to this esophagus. Now our food is coming down like this, here coming down through esophagus. Come to know, so in esophagus there is no any gland, nothing, that is a simple passage of food. Come to know, finally what happened, this food we are going to study in each detail, we are going to study after. First I am explaining what it is happening. Okay, next this food comes like this. See, this is a diaphragm, after that it reaches to the stomach. In stomach there will be a different enzymes, different acids, all those things are there. All those things it is going to mix up with our this bolus. Okay, come to know, see here what happened, this bolus is converted into chyme now. What is that? Chyme. Chyme means nothing but it is a half digested food what we are getting from the mouth, that is bolus actually, but what happened, that bolus is mixed with different juices and hydrochloric acid in stomach. Okay, all things it is secreted by the stomach. All those things it is going to mix up with our food. Okay, that is called as chyme. Now what happened, this chyme is entering to the small intestine. Small intestine is a site for the complete digestion of food. Okay, complete digestion of protein, carbohydrate, fat, all those things. So what happened, that is a very lengthier, longest part it is. Very lengthier, our small intestine is very long. So what happened now, food, that is a chyme. Chyme is going to enter into the small intestine. In small intestine there is a finger-like projection that is called as villi. Come to know, that is called as villi. That is a finger-like projection in the small intestine. Here what it is doing, there will be a number of villi are there, because it is going to increase the surface area of the absorption. So if it is more and more villi means more and more absorption will take place. Come to know, so our intestine is very lengthy. God is created like that because it need to absorb the things. Come to know, so villi are very important because it is going to absorb the things. These villi are connected with different blood capillaries. Come to know, blood vessels are there because that blood vessels is going to take these food, digested food, to our different parts. Come to know, so this is small, we are going to study in detail or what are the different enzymes, all those, but then roughly we are going to study like this. See, next what happened, after the small intestine it leads to the large intestine. Compared to the small intestine, large intestine is lesser in length, it is very short. Compared to small intestine it is very short. But what happens, there is also a presence of villi are there, that villi are going to absorb the things. Okay, what it is remaining, if it is water content or any other remaining things are there means it is going to absorb. It is not living as it is to the outside, it is once again it is going to absorb all the things what is there in our food. Only the unwanted food is coming down. Okay, that is first it is reaches to the rectum, that is a temporary storage of unwanted materials. Later, whenever we are willing to it is push it out, or else it is excretion purpose, we know that we are going to study later that one. So what happened? These all comes coming out through anus. Anus is only the small opening, but in rectum all those things are going to accumulate over there. Okay, that is a temporary storage. Come to know. So next, these are above one simple diagram I have drawn. You have to draw a beautiful diagram. Here one more main part is there, that is a liver, what we have, largest organ in our body. So in liver it is having the unique role in this also. So it is going to secrete its own juice, that is also mixing with this bolus, so that it is converting as a chyme, what we have studied. Come to know. So next we will study here one by one what is happening in our body. First, in mouth what it is? Salivary gland is there. So it is mixing with saliva, food is mixing with saliva, that we are calling as a bolus. Now where it is we are going to swallow that one, it is coming down. Now one more question here, if you are going to turn our head down, whether that food material go up or down? See, always it is going to, esophagus is going to maintain that one. If you are up and down, if your head is down, or if it is straight as it is, so the food is not going to go ulta or like that. So it is coming down only to the stomach. So here next what happened? Salivary amylase convert starch into maltose. Whatever the food having, we know that it is having starch. If you are leave any vegetables or anything, if you are going to take, it is rich with starch. That starch is converted into maltose in our mouth itself. Come to know. Next what happened? That food is reaches to the esophagus. Now esophagus having no any enzymes, nothing. So what it is, this is a simple passage for the food. No enzymes are found. But here what happened? The movement of food is very, very important here, because our esophagus always it is going to relax and contraction. Always it is a rhythmic movement is there. So because of the relaxation and contraction of our esophagus, walls are like that. So because of that, it is pushing the food down. That is, a bolus is coming down very easily. Okay, see, that movement is called as peristalsis movement. Come to know, that movement is called as peristalsis movement. Come to know, that is very, very important one. So peristalsis pushes the food into stomach. Next what happened? Now where it is, the food is in stomach. It reaches to the stomach. So here gastric glands are there in the walls of the stomach. Gastric glands are there. It is going to secrete the gastric juices. That gastric juices are very, very important for the digestion process. That is half digestion, what it is occurring, or else what it is processing in our stomach. Now what happened? Here there will be a many enzymes are taking part. Here first one, that is a pepsin. It converts complex protein into simple protein. Different complex proteins we are going to take as a form of food. In food there will be a number of proteins. Okay, if it is egg or if it is a fish, that is a protein itself. But what happened? That big protein is going to convert into small simple proteins inside the stomach because of the gastric glands and pepsin. Next what happened? Renin here convert milk into curd. If you are going to drink milk, unknowingly it is going to become a curd in our body itself, that is in our stomach itself. Stomach also secrete HCl, which kills the bacteria and provides acid medium for pepsin. So here in exam they will ask, what is the role of HCl in our body? So where it is secreting? It is secreting inside our stomach. In the stomach it is. So okay, what happens? These HCls are it is maintaining or else it is going to kill all the microbes which is entering through food. Okay, so that food materials is contaminated food. If you are going to eat, somehow it is going to kill in our body, because our HCl, it is going to kill all those things, finish off all those things. Come to know that is a role of HCl in our body. So what, one more thing, otherwise what will happen? We are going to eat many, we are not controlling all those things, all things we are going to eat. If it is a typhoid bacteria or else any paratyphoid bacteria, all those things it is going to kill inside the body. Okay, somehow other viruses also can kill, or else it may kill in our body. So because of the HCl. So we have completed entire thing what is going to occur or processing in our stomach. Now we are getting bolus, it is converted into chyme. Okay, what we are getting now, chyme is entering through the small intestine. First part of that is the upper part of intestine, you know that is called as duodenum. See, this duodenum, here what is going to happen? See, actually the absorption process, it is going to occur in our small intestine. We have studied that is, it is having the villi. Already we come to know that there will be a villi. Now here one more thing we have written, that is a liver, that is bile juice. It is going to secrete the bile juice. Where is the liver here? See, this liver, it is going to secrete the bile juice. That bile juice, see here, no enzymes in bile juice. Bile emulsify the fat. Whatever fat we are going to take, if any ghee or any butter or all the cheese, all those things, what will happen? It is going to emulsify. We know that what is emulsification of fat. In our lower class we have studied that. Once again I am not going to elongate that one, or not going to explain that one, because we know that what is emulsification of fat. Now what happened? Pancreatic enzyme convert starch into maltose. Pancreas, it is going to give the enzymes that is going to convert what is starch into maltose. Whatever starch is going to remain in our here. See, in salivary gland, whatever it is, if it is any starch is going to remain, means once again all the things it is going to absorbed in the, we know that in a small intestine it is going to absorb. Wherever if it is small amount of starch is rest over, means that is also going to convert here. Okay. Next what happened? Lipase convert emulsified fat into fatty acids and glycerol. See here, lipase is one more enzyme. These all are the biological catalysts. Biological catalyst they are. What it is doing? Convert these emulsified fat into fatty acids and glycerol. Come to know. Next what happened? Pancreatic and juices also secreting over there. We know that here pancreas is there. It is going to secrete the pancreatic juice. Trypsin convert the proteins into polypeptides. One more enzyme, that is a trypsin. It is going to convert these protein into polypeptides. Now tell me student, if in stomach we are getting chyme in what after in all the process is going to occur in the stomach, next we are going to get the chyme. Now tell me what will be the pH of this chyme, whether it is acidic or basic? Yeah, because we come to know it is going to secrete HCl over here, so it should be acidic pH. Come to know acidic pH. So what it is doing? Yeah, next it is balance. If it is our stomach is more acid, means what will happen? All the things what is there inside our body, it may corrode. So we have to maintain all those things. Sorry, not we, our body is going to maintain all those things. The food coming from the stomach is acidic and has to be made alkali for a pancreatic enzyme to act. Come to know. So pancreas is going to help in that also. So we come to know that in our body the intestine is very longer part, it is very lengthier one. So in that also intestine in herbivorous is longer compared to the carnivorous. Do you know why it is? What is the reason for that one? See, if it is what herbivorous, what it is eating? Yeah, they are eating plants, all those things. So what happens? It need more villi and more absorption, and it is very difficult to digest that one compared to the meat what we are eating, or else what the animals or the tiger is eating. So the intestine of a deer, or else any, if it is an elephant, it is more longer compared to the if it is in tiger. Tiger is a omnivorous, we know, okay, because the digestion purpose, it is also, we have to keep it in our mind, okay. The omnivores are having shorter compared to that one. Okay, next we will move to the lower part of our small intestine. See, in lower part, that is called as jejunum and ileum. We know that is jejunum and jejunum, we are jejunum or jejunum it is, okay. Next ileum, that is going to secrete intestinal juices. Okay, here what it is happen, maltose convert, because of this intestinal juice, maltase converts maltose into glucose, that is the enzymes once again here, maltase. Upon that, sucrase, see, these all enzymes, ASE, it is ending with ASC. So wherever we are getting ASC, that is, you have to think that is the enzymes. So here sucrase converts sucrose into glucose and fructose. That is a complex form of sugar. So it is going to convert into simple form of sugar. Next, lactase, once again ASC, that is enzyme, converts lactose into glucose and galactose. That is what lactose means, it is a bigger complex molecule, so it is going to convert into smaller molecule. Peptidase, that is converting peptides into amino acid, that is a simple converting into a simple molecule. Next we will move to the large intestine, that is called as colon. What happens here? There is no secretion of any juices or any enzymes over here, but what happened here, colon absorb water and mineral from the undigested food. Already all the absorption, it is finished up over there. If it is any remaining is there, once again it is going to, it is not leaving as it is, once again it is going to absorb all the minerals, all the water, what is there in the in the food. Okay. Next, what happened? After unwanted food, unwanted, nothing is there, it is unwanted fully, don't want to us, that is coming down to the rectum. Here the temporary storage of undigested food is occurring. Last, whenever we are going to secrete that one, that secrete undigested food through anus, that is a small pore or opening. Come to know, this is all about the digestion in human beings. Quite complex it is, so you have to read your textbook more and more times, more than 2 times you have to study the diagram, then only you can come to know. See here, there will be a number of enzymes, there will be a number of parts, different parts we are going to study in this. So once again, so this is about the diagram. So I will show you student how you can draw these diagram. This is very important for your exam, so I will show you how you can draw this diagram. Okay, so I will draw here. See, along with me you have to try it. Okay, so initially we have to draw our, see, a mouth and a nasal cavity like this. Come to know, this is a nasal cavity, there is a nose, and here that is a mouth. Actually this is important for our digestion, this is for the respiration. So no need of labeling this one, you have to label this part. Okay, that is a mouth. Next it is leads to the esophagus like this. See, always while labeling, do in uniform sized arrow marks. Okay, uniform lines you have to, and if you can draw in one side, means in one side nicely, neatly you can, otherwise don't put like this and like this arrow marks. Okay, it looks ugly, so don't do like that. So it is a esophagus here. Okay, this is a esophagus. Next, what happened? Esophagus leads to the stomach. Yes, this stomach, somewhat take the size of the stomach and draw this, what a pancreas like this. Pancreas here, see, after here we are getting this part here, bile duct and all, so you can draw somewhat like this here. Next it is leads to the large intestine. Draw like this, large intestine, double it is, because it is like a pipe. Always it should be like a pipe, so you draw like this. Here we are getting one small part that is called as appendix. Do you know what is this appendix? Appendix are the vestigial organ. It is a vestigial organ. It does not have any role in our digestive system, but still it is there because in our ancestor, what they are eating? They are eating, yeah, as it is without cooking, they are eating the food, right? That time it has a role. Okay, nowadays what happened? Have you heard the appendicitis? That is the infection for this appendix. What they are doing? The doctors are going to remove that one. Nothing will happen to that person if it is going to remove. Okay, because it indicates that that is a vestigial organ. You know that what is vestigial organ? It is having no role nowadays. Before it has some role, but nowadays there is no role for that, like our wisdom teeth what we are having. Okay, same as that, but still you have to mention that one like this. So like this it will get, so you have to extend like this. Next you can draw your intestine like this. Okay, simple diagram I am showing. If it is very neat one, if you can draw, means you can draw by seeing your what in textbook, but you have to draw here the pancreas, very important part. It is a gland, pancreas, it is very important. So this is a rough diagram. Next you can draw a shape, you can give the shape to like this, any shapes you can give, hand and all, nice mouth and all you can draw, see somewhat, yes, like this. It is a rough diagram what I have shown. Okay, so this part is very important. The human being, what is outside outer line, it is not very important, but you have to draw the outer line because you have to show where we can see this one. Okay, and here somewhat here you have to draw the anus like this, small opening. If it is, there is no space here, so you can draw the leg and all, so where it come this part. Okay, this is all about the what a digestive system, very important part. Draw it, try it more than 2 or 3 times you have to draw, then only you can draw it nice neatly. Upon that you have to label the parts, all the what stomach, pancreas, duodenum. Upon that this is a pancreas, this is a liver, large intestine, small intestine, anus, rectum, all those things you have to label. Okay, this is all about the digestive system. So once again I will glance from the beginning what we have studied. Okay, first I will say, see, first we have studied about the heterotrophic nutrition. What is the meaning of that one? After that, how the amoebas are going to take the food. And what about the paramecium? We have studied that also. In if it is a saprophyte, what is how they are going to, what is a parasite, how it is going to take the food. Next, in human beings, in detail we have studied, different parts we have studied. Our alimentary canal is a very important part for our digestion, and different parts with the diagram we have studied. So take down the questions. Yeah, write down the importance of villi in our small intestine as well as in our large intestine. Yes. Second question, how amoebas are going to take food. With the diagram you have to explain how we have drawn, and rough diagram is enough. So you have to draw and show how it is going to take the intake of food. Okay. Next, write down the peristaltic movement of what a food in our esophagus, and write down the short note about chyme and bolus. Okay, thank you students.